We're working through the embroidery videos of the BERNINA 570 Quilters Edition. And I'm going to show you just some of my tricks for hooping fabric and picking the correct stabilizer. Now we do a lot of stabilizer exploration and hands-on use in our Embroidery Essentials online course. If you really want to get knowledge of different types of stabilizer, that's what hands-on courses, whether it's online or through your local store, will help you with. If an instructor tells you to use a certain stabilizer, use that stabilizer. Even if it's one that you have to go out and buy. Part of that is learning your stabilizers so it's not so confusing. And the more you learn about which ones do what, then it's not so scary. And when you have a similar project down the road, you'll know which ones to pick up for that type of fabric or project. So with this machine, you do get two hoops. So we have the oval hoop, and this is considered a medium hoop. There are additional hoops that you can purchase at your local BERNINA retailer. Make sure you support them so they can be there to support you in the future. And for today, I am going to go ahead and use the oval hoop. Now, another thing that came with your machine is some grids. And so the grid, the only thing I do look at first is I look for the word BERNINA. There it is. So it's not upside down or backwards or such. So these little grids will sit inside the hoop with the assistance of the hoop clips. So if you saw some of these clips in with your accessories, pull them out. They just kind of slide on at the sides here. And then as you use it, it will sit right down into the inner hoop. So once I put these on, I usually don't take them off. I just let them be kind of in their spots at all times. And then when you actually lay this inside the little hoop, you will find it will sit there, there we go, and give you an idea if you've got your lines you drew on your fabric straight with the hoop, so you can see if your hoop's crooked or not. So that is a great little bit, and you do have one for that medium hoop size as well. Next, go ahead and take this screw and loosen it all the way up. If this is a brand new hoop, you're going to need to loosen it more than you think. And with that, we do have a video. We talk about there's a little hoop spring you can put in here, see, and it will actually help hold it open while you're trying to hoop. See how it snaps back? So it's a $5 hoop spring pack. We'll put links below where you can check that out, and then we'll also include a link to the video that I talk about why that is so helpful. The other thing before I take these apart, you're going to notice that at the bottom there are two arrows. Those arrows are happiest when they are pointing to each other. So again, so you don't get this hoop switched around, or even, I've seen it, upside down as people have tried to put the hoop on in an incorrect way. So next, I am going to show you my trick for prepping fabric in stabilizer. So this fabric is a cotton fabric, so I am going to use 2 layers of tearaway stabilizer, which I've just gone ahead and cut. I cut one big one and folded it in half. You can totally do that. But 505 spray is something that as you get ready to hoop, this will allow the fabric not to stretch out. So I'm going to just give this stabilizer a little bit of a temporary spray, and then as I place, and just lay my fabric on. And we always spray the stabilizer instead of the fabric. So if you're unsure, it's a one-sided stick, so you always want to spray it to the stabilizer. Next, let's look. See how I can't stretch that fabric out? When I go to hoop it, that means that things won't get stretched out as I go. Next, when you are hooping, always hoop on a flat surface. And if you can stand up, it will be easier when you're kind of pushing those two hoops together. If you have a cutting table, that's a great place to do it. Next, position the bracket of the outside hoop. So the bracket is on the left. Okay, place your fabric over that, and your smaller inner hoop, look for those little arrows. I know it needs to be at the bottom, so I'm going to turn that. And then I can just go ahead, if I need to position this to the side, line up with a line, but I can just, once I get it set, I can lift it and then press it down in the hoop. Now, if you haven't opened this screw far enough, this is going to be an awkward, hard position. But if you have opened it enough, go ahead and slide the hoop off the table just enough so you can kind of get your fingers underneath so you can kind of pull that hoop out. That's what those hoop springs would assist with. It's like giving you a third hand while you're trying to push that all the way in. So this hoop should go in very easily, and I'm holding it in just so it doesn't pop out because it is very, very loose. And then I'm going to take my fingers and tighten this screw until I can't go any further. Once I've gotten it as tight as I can go, let me show you my last trick. Now right now if I can hear the hoop kind of scratching on the table. So if you take your thumbs on each of the, we'll say corners of the oval hoop and just push the inside of the inner hoop just a little past flush. So see how there's just a little bit extending? I'm going to do that at each corner. It kind of gives it just one last little bit of tighten. And did you notice I didn't pull on my fabric? I'm not trying to stretch the fabric in the hoop. I need the fabric and stabilizer to be pretty much at rest, meaning not stretched. If you embroider on stretched fabric, as soon as you take it out, you're going to have all those wrinkles around the edges. All right, a little bit more each of these other edges. And let's just peek back here. If you have a little bit, this isn't bad. Sometimes you'll get a little crinkle where the screw is. That's not going to be a problem at all. Now let's listen. Nice and quiet. So we do have lots of different stabilizers depending on which fabric you're working with. If you've got stretchy fabric, then we use a cutaway stabilizer. If you've got a towel or something with a nap, so those stitches don't come up between those little bits of terry cloth or fleece, that would take a water-soluble stabilizer over the top as well. There's lots to learn on stabilizers, so just keep trying out new ones. Again, the Embroidery Essentials online course, we go through stabilizers there as well. But all in all, this hoop is ready to get put on the machine, and we can get started learning all the screens and functions of the BERNINA 570. Make sure you check out all the videos that we have done. There's over 100 that are on this particular machine, both on the sewing side and the embroidery side.